next speaker is Blaise Hamlet, and Blaise is going to be speaking to us about the introduction of allied health assistance supervised practice groups for adult communication therapy within an inpatient rehabilitation setting. Blaise.
Hi, I'm Blaise. I'll be presenting on a quality project my team implemented in our inpatient rehab ward, the introduction of allied health assistant supervised practice groups for adult communication therapy. So a large proportion of our rehab caseload involves working with patients with acquired communication disorders post-stroke. And we know that the evidence-based practice in the treatment of these patients suggests the following. So National Stroke Foundation guidelines recommend intensive therapy. However, one-on-one high-intensive therapy can require high levels of funding, and clinicians report this can be difficult to sustain. Group therapy models can be cost-effective, and hybrid models can have positive treatment outcomes. However, there are a number of barriers to implementing traditional group therapy, particularly within an inpatient setting. They require patient cohorts to have similar presentations. However, inpatient group cohorts are limited to current admissions only, but therefore we can have patients with a range of communication disorders and severities. And adapting resources for a diverse cohort can be challenging and time-intensive. We also know that one-on-one allied health assistant delegated models of care can have positive treatment outcomes. However, in clinical practice, the time required by the speech pathologists to set up these programs can reduce cost savings. So previous trials of traditional group therapy models weren't successful or sustainable within our service due to the barriers I just identified. So an alternative model of care that was time and cost effective and overcame these barriers was required. Our aims were to meet guidelines for therapy intensity within existing staffing by developing a new model of care, and to determine whether a group therapy model, which aims to simultaneously treat patients with a range of communication disorders and severities, could result in improved communication function. So a supported practice group therapy model was implemented with patients with varied language difficulties. Overall, patient management involved a hybrid approach of one-on-one speech pathology sessions where treatment tasks were first introduced, and group therapy sessions where these skills were further practiced and consolidated with the AHA. Group sessions consisted of individualised independent practice tasks and group activities with a social component. The groups have been run for approximately 18 months now, and the cohort varies daily based on the individual requirements of the patients and our current admissions. This varies from traditional group therapy models where, for example, an aphasia group, you might have the same cohort of patients for an 8-week block, which doesn't work within our inpatient setting. And allied health assistants completed competency training prior to leading these groups. So pre and post data collection included therapy intensity, impairment-based outcome measures, and surveys of speech pathologists, allied health assistants, and the patients involved. The supported practice group model overcame barriers to traditional group therapy. The individualised independent exercises limited the need to adapt group resources for patients with varying deficits. And speech pathologists reported an increase in the use of group therapy as the barriers of finding like patients had largely been eliminated. Combining group and AHA delegated models of care was effective. So all of our AHAs found group therapy to be a more effective service delivery model compared to one-on-one for delivering speech pathology programs. Therapy intensity guidelines were met, and patients demonstrated improvements in their outcome measures. So 100% of patients were equal to or above intensity guidelines for aphasia therapy, compared with 66% pre-implementation. All of our patients demonstrated improvements in their outcome measures, and confidence when talking was reported to increase in 83% of patients. So to conclude, the AHA supported practice group model resulted in increased therapy intensity with less demand on speech pathologists to provide individual therapy. and patients with varying deficits were able to successfully participate in the group together. So future directions, research is required to further analyse the benefits of the model in relation to patient communication skills and wellbeing, access to care, ongoing sustainability and cost savings.